Welcome to Challumbra Crescent in Highton. This is a fantastic property perched on the hilltops of Geelong with an original 70s fabric in collaboration with BCT and ByRA. So right at the beginning of the process with Alison and Luke, we wanted to explore this property and its possibilities. When you're renovating an existing property and wanting to stay in the property for a long period of time, it's really important that you understand what is possible and what also is adding value and benefit to your life in the way in which you live. With Alison and Luke, it was really critical that we looked at this property from two angles. One, to just renovate the house in its existing footprint and elevate all of the finishes and bring it all up into a new and better finished product. Or there were some significant considerations in the house that would make living here for the next 20 years much better for Alison and Luke. So in the initial discussions and discovery of the house with Alison and Luke, it's really important to us to delve into how they're currently living in the house, how they want to live in the house, what's being used well in the house and what's not being used well in the house. And with this property, they were pretty much just living in the kitchen, living and dining. Where I'm sitting now extended through this skinny passage into a living room, and they literally watch television, use the kitchen here. And it's a really big property over multiple levels, and lots of the space was not being utilised. What became apparent in the initial stages of the design process is that it was really important right from the beginning to be engaged with a builder that could be part of the process from a design and estimating perspective. We chose BCT because they are a one-stop shop, which means that they can do the design for you. But Alison and Luke were really keen to elevate the design and use our firm for that. But it was a fabulous collaboration with BCT because while exploring those initial A and B decisions around the floor plan, BCT were working in conjunction at the same time with us, assessing the conceptual options that we were coming up with, and therefore able to price option A and option B so that we had something real to compare to before we continued. I believe the best time to engage your builder is right at the onset. I think we leave that engagement too long, and the simple fact is that builders are the only ones that can price things and be involved in that initial costing of your project. One of the main reasons we engaged BCT right early on was to have actual information and real facts about what this renovation was going to cost. It's critical in any renovation or build process that you gather the information up front. So spend a bit of time, spend a bit of money with your project team, whether that be a drafter, an architect, whether it's BCT and they're doing everything for you, whether it's us, whoever's involved. It's critical that you understand your options, that you price your options, and that you are proactive in finalising that, because informed decisions make for the best renovation journey and the best outcome in the end. I personally really enjoyed this project because the project team was so cohesive right from the start, and it was a real collaboration between BCT, ByRA and the clients, and everybody was very active and accountable and responsible in the process. It just delivered a fantastic end result. We were able to move within the budget, swap and change, because you have to, there's flexibility in any renovation. Things come up, expenses happen, things are unforeseen. But this project team worked very well together and very cohesively to deliver the end result. I particularly love this house because the clients were really intent on holding on to the original fabric of the house. I really love how uniquely Australian this property is and how it's remained uniquely Australian. I think the choice of products, the decisions to retain the cork floor, the decision to keep the kitchen elevated on its original plinth and not reimagine it completely, really means that the house still feels like it did. It's just a much better version of itself now. One of the biggest challenges in renovating an old property and bringing it up to elevate the design is knowing where to start and stop. With an old property, once you start to renovate, when you start to make things good, when you start to put new walls in, when you start to do new stone and tiling, the little imperfections of the house really start to shine and become obvious. But you can make a mistake in trying to rectify it all. If you want to rectify it all, you have to gut the place, because there is no real place to start and stop if you want perfection. But what I encourage people to do in original properties when you're doing a renovation is embrace the imperfection, embrace some of the original character, and allow the imperfections to be what they are, and then just add the new in with it. And then by the time you put all of your life and your story and your journey and your fixtures and fittings and your furniture in, it creates a story and it feels like a home. Involving your builder right from the beginning allows you to foresee as many of the unknowns as you possibly can right from the onset. But with any renovation, with a new build as well, but with a renovation especially, the things just come up that are unforeseen. And what is really important is the project team are ready for that they're aware that it's going to happen, and that they work together collaboratively to resolve it, because they are going to happen. But what's important is that everybody works together and makes informed decisions on how they're going to proceed. So if it adds an unknown cost and you need to remove that cost from somewhere else, it's important that the project team do that cohesively and collaboratively to ensure the integrity of the project continues all the way through. In the initial stages, when we were costing with BCT were able to cost the structural and the building elements for us so that we had a base cost to then build on. And then we were obviously needed to go away and do the finishings and the design and the selection process. So while BCT could put some provisional sums to that, it's then our job to go away and design it. And then it's the job of the project team to come back together, assess that, and decide where we're going to push and pull from. When we were considering the materials of this property, we wanted again to keep a lot of the original feeling. So we actually went to Art Domus because we felt that their product offering across stone all the way through to tiles was the best fit for this property. You'll see some really beautiful key elements in this house, like the terracotta tiles of the plinth that I'm sitting on that are also featured in the ensuite and in the kitchen. That gave us a really beautiful floor in the kitchen and a gorgeous base, a rich, deep brown base to go with all the original timbers and the original cork floor that we kept. Lots of their tiles are used, well, all of the tiles in this property are used from Art Domus. We tiled the kitchen island bench to create that more 70s feel and a beautiful mustard tile. The bathrooms are done in fantastic peach and pink tones in square mosaic tiles that really create that 1960s, 1970s bath hobs and original features that you would have seen then. The fabric of this house is uniquely Australian, so we wanted the lighting to also be from Australian companies. So the light behind me is from Coco Flip. It also appears in the guest bathroom. There's some beautiful terracotta lineal lights that they do in there. In the master bedroom and ensuite, Volker Haag baby swing lights on the walls and another one in the bathroom mean that we're keeping in the original tone of the house. When considering the joinery finishes for the project, we wanted to stay in a tone and in a material palette that was matching all the original timbers. We didn't want to go to the expense, nor did we want to change all the timber ceilings, the windows, the doors. The original fabric of those is beautiful and we wanted to retain it. So we needed to find a product that would sit well with its colour tone, be durable and be sympathetic to the house. So we've chosen Evanescent Sirocco from Elton Group in the Tuscan Oak. I think the Tuscan Oak nods back to that mid-century. It matched beautifully with the original timbers and it was the perfect match for the project.
Turn your magical when she said